Hey, welcome to Odd Musings, episode number 216. How you doing, Scott?
Doing well. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Whew. Signing in at the last second. I had a customer try and call. I'm like, sorry, I can't take it.
Well, it worked out. I told Scott that I may not be on in time because I had to run out to take care of one of my favorite members this morning, but I was able to get delivered a little early and got back to the house. I got everything up and running real quick. So if he was running late, oh well. And if we're both running late, y'all will wait. You better wait.
I did sign in exactly at 10.
Yep. Which means you're late.
Yes. If you're not early, you're late.
Exactly. So, hey, we got a fun show today. Get to talk a little Gem City Comic Con. We got some great stuff going on with the Kickstarter, but let's try to get some ad reads out of the way first. I'll kick us off with Loringer Family Chiropractic Center PC, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan, and they take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient, offering on-site digital X-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give me a call, 734-697-4244. You can visit them online at LoringerFamilyChiropractic.com. We have a link, of course, at Odd Musings for that. And you can find them here on Facebook at Loringer Family Chiro, where you can actually just click the call button from your phone. You can also ask them a question and send them a post and things like that. They haven't been updating this very much. Don't worry. They are working very hard. They have a lot of stuff going on there. If you're looking to get a massage, though, I can tell you this. You got to book those in advance. They fill up pretty quick. They've only got a couple massage therapists right now. So they are definitely handling a lot of massage. Is a great way to kind of help the blood flow and keep yourself looking pretty good. So, and then Scott.
Team Titans Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. That's right. At Team Titans Real Estate, we recognize that, social media, technology, all those fun tools, they're always evolving. The old stuff becomes obsolete. The new shiny stuff comes in. But what doesn't change is it's always a people business. And at the end of the day, that's what we focus on, our relationships with you. And it's been a crazy year, coming out of COVID and everything. We've had housing shortages and all this stuff. And we've been right on in the forefront. And, when you choose your just know this, not all realtors are equal. And you want to do your homework. And it matters if you get a full-time realtor or not. We are in the game 24/7. We are constantly seeing what's working and not working. And right now for buyers, it's been quite the ride for buyers. And it's still happening. It felt like with the surge in the summer, we thought the demand was going to drop. And it did a little bit. It eased some of that pressure. But we are, especially at the houses under 300,000, we are still having massive bidding wars, and you've got to get a realtor who understands the dynamics of the situation to put you in the best possible light to get your offer accepted. So if that's a realtor you want, give us a call. My number is 586-549-6096, or we got Jill Webler over there.
Hey, Jill.
Brett said, hey, Jill. We got Jill there, who is 586-277-2145.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I delivered to a member the other day I hadn't seen in several months, and it was a different address. They had actually moved into some apartments a couple miles from where they used to live. They sold their house. And I would never tell her this. And if she ever watches the show, Sarah, sorry, but I kind of agree with this. She said they didn't use a realtor. They said neither one of them. And they said they got like a nice ranch home they had. It was in a subdivision. I don't know the age of the home. I know it's not. I don't think it's more than 15 years old. It could be less, it could be more, but not much. And they said they got around 300,000. And they said they were very happy with that. I'm thinking, if it had a good realtor, you might have got more. So trying to save 15 grand in fees, as she put it, may have cost her 50 grand.
Here's what we can tell you. Can you sell your house on your own? Yes. Will you save money? You don't know that. The problem is this. It depends how you approach the real estate process. Mm-hmm. When you hire a quality realtor to represent you, it's no longer an expense. It's an investment. A quality realtor will increase what you get, and you'll get a return on that. If you just treat it as an expense and go for the person with the lowest commission, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get an expense, and it's going to cost you money. Yes, you will successfully sell your house in this market without a realtor. But does that mean that was the best choice for you? I can tell you, we have done a number of deals for buyers who've had trouble getting houses. We will gladly do deals with for sale by owners for our clients because we get them amazing deals, because the for sale by owner doesn't understand what's all the tools available in the current marketplace to advance their needs. So all I can say is it does matter who you choose. Going back to my original point, interview your realtors, check what they do. Look at their listings. What kind of pictures do they take, for the houses? How do they market the homes? Some people just care about putting a sign in your yard to use it to get further leads. Others care about selling your home, which is what Jill and I do. So definitely look into it. But we can tell you, on average, they've done studies on this, and for sale by owners will easily sell more than 10% less than what they would if they were with a realtor. So usually the loss is more than what they would have paid in commission.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, but I would never say anything to them directly because it's not my business. At the same time, though, it's one of those things where I think people are always saying, well, I could knock this out. I could save this, save that, or I do see billboards around Ann Arbor. There's a guy doing 3% supposedly commission. And I'm thinking that's a little too low, but at the same time, I wonder if he's really trying to sell or if he's just.
Well, now I can't speak directly to that, but what I'll talk is in generalities here. I know when I see certain people advertising that way, you got to be careful because they're only advertising the half of the commission they're taking. They're not advertising the half they're sharing with the others. So, so a lot of times it's not really, they're just telling you how much they're working for.
Right.
But in a typical deal, I can't reveal my exact commission rates here. But because of the way the real estate laws are.
But people have dealt in real estate. When you see certain things, that 3% is on the very low end. And when I see that, even in anything sales, when someone says, well, I've taken my commissions way down, there's always a catch somewhere.
Yeah. So, a typical transaction, I will make X percent in the commission. And then whoever brings the buyer, I am paying out of my commission them. I am sharing through the multiple listing service. That's what all of us realtors use. I am sharing a certain percentage of my commission with them for bringing the buyer. So a lot of times those ads are misleading in that they're only telling them the half they're keeping.
That's part of the reason I mentioned it, just so kind of make awareness on that. So, Well, cool.
And always remember the saying, you get what you pay for. That exists for a reason.
I say that in Shift with people that say I'd rather use a certain app than use the Shift app. And I'm like, well, you might save a couple bucks there, but in the long run, you get a better quality service in the long run with the Shift app and the Shift people. So, so good luck with that. So in fact, that's why I ran out today, because I have a customer that needed to be taken care of. They could do it today. Normally they're a Friday customer for me, but they asked to take care of today. And you sometimes do that. You add a little time out of your personal time to take care of the people you take care of in the long run. So speaking
of, do you have that code available to share?
Yeah, it's odd. It's odd. ODD is the code.
So if they go into ship.com and sign up and use
here it is
code?
right here. Ship.com. Use the code ODD, sign up. I get like a referral credit when you sign up as a customer. I think I get like $5 or $10. That shows up there.
A little thank you for sending business their way. But they also typically get some kind of there's different promotions, but a lot of times there's like some kind of discount or something for them, isn't there?
Yeah, they do sometimes for trial periods. The basic fee is $99 a year. It's for unlimited deliveries of at least $35 or more, which is very easy to do with any groceries. But like in the Ann Arbor area where I shop at, we have Meijer, Target, Party City, Plum Market, CVS are some of the main ones there. Over like in Ipsy, they even have Fresh Time, which is partly owned by Meijer. In fact, Meijer owns the majority of them now. They bought into them, and a few other stores here and there, and then different places in the country. I've seen people posting online for Universal. It's like, oh, I need a good delivery service where you can use Shipt. Shipt uses Publix, Target down there, and several other stores. I know where my sister's at in Clearwater. She can get stuff through Shipt for Costco. So it's a lot of different stores available nationwide. So this is not just a local thing here to Michigan. This is a nationwide thing. So pop your zip code in to let you know what's available. And it's not everywhere they'd like to be, but unfortunately, some areas are just a little too remote for the stores.
So I see Kevin Miner popping in here. Let's give an update. We have a breaking news. Look at this. $4 short.
Oh, man, we had to know the back there since I looked an hour ago. That's great.
$29.96. If we hit $3,000, you will get the second best artist in the world's cover. No, just kidding. But this exclusive cover drawn by yours truly, me. I did an exclusive cover for Kevin here with the Macabre Master Issue 3. So,
yeah.
So
Well,
that gets unlocked.
Well, Scott was here. Kevin and I were down in Gem City Comic Con. Scott sent us this time to work on it, and I think it looks fantastic. I think it's an exciting cover to have. And nice thing is, if you've already have pledged, you'll have your choice of Kickstarter covers once this hits the 3,000, which I'm confident we're going to hit 3,000 and more.
And also, if you want both Kickstarter exclusive covers, you can just add the other one on as an add-on.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be available, but we just need $4 more.
Yep. And you can go on at any time and add add-ons. So if you're saying, I wish I got that, go in there, adjust your pledge, add the add-ons. Not a problem. And then I believe, will they give us an option for that after it closes? You guys are better at the add-ons than I am.
I don't think after it closes, you can do add-ons.
Okay. Because I get some things, I get stuff once in a while, but I think it's backer, the backer one, not Kickstarter, but the backer one that will sometimes allow you to add stuff on. Because I've had some people say, you can add all this stuff on after the fact. So,
So not to tell Kevin how to run his Kickstarter, but since we're only $4 away, I'd be fine with saying let's just say we unlocked it so we can start promoting it. Especially since we're leaving town tonight. Well, update all the graphics now.
Yep.
But and he also revealed once we hit 100 backers, there's going to be this metal trading card. That's not the final image because I've been slacking. I ended up doing the cover this last weekend instead of prepping his. That's
because you've been hanging out too much with your hot girlfriend. Hanging out, going putt golfing, getting cookies and ice cream, and going to movies.
Brett saying I slack because I hang out with my hot girlfriend too much. she liked that one.
Oh yeah, you let her know. We all know that she is way above your pay grade. So, and Kevin did answer through Kickstarter, no add-ons after it ends. So definitely get the add-ons in ahead of time.
But what you can do is, if you've already pledged, and now that once this gets unlocked officially and is in the system, you can adjust your pledge and do add-ons as many times as you want until it actually closes. So if you've already pledged, don't worry. I think he's doing $10 for the limited editions, but increase it by that much, you can throw in another add-on. So.
Yep, but you'll have a click on thing once we hit 3,000, or he'll add it on here soon because I'm pretty sure we're pretty much there. So
yeah, if somebody just wants to increase their pledge by $4 right now.
Yep,
you will reach immortality through us saying your name right now on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll come back to this. We'll give another update towards the end of the show today, but we're pretty much right there. But I wanted to kind of give a quick shout out because I got one day left. A friend of mine posted the other day. She's got a Kickstarter, and I forgot all about it.
So
I'm going to share it. It is on Rika through her Red Style Media.
She had that going.
Yeah, today's the last day. They got 23 hours. They hit funding finally. They had a couple big ones drop out, so she posted asking if anybody hadn't done it yet. So I hopped on, supported the Kickstarter because I've got Ninja Bear before. I got the graphic novel, so this one gives me the newest issue. So I got that, and I went for the action plush. I thought it was kind of cool. So threw a little extra money their way. But they're at 106 backers, $5,256, 23 hours ago. So definitely go check them out. I will grab a link here. I'm going to drop it in our comments here, so you'll be able to see that. And then of course we will send you our link to our Kickstarter as well. But one of the things we like to do is promote pals Kickstarters, any of our friends. So we've got a couple others on there too.
Let me throw one more up.
Yep, go ahead.
I didn't know he was doing this. Billy Tucci, our good friend Billy Tucci. He's got the She Omnibus. It's like a huge collection, 12 issues of the stories of his classic She comic book. So that's always a good one. Billy doesn't need our endorsement. He's up to $55,000 there with 23 days left to go. So, but always a pleasure when we run into him. Always fun talking to Billy. So,
yeah, I can't wait to see Billy again. It's been too long. Yeah. Last I saw him, I think was San Diego 2 years ago. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and his wife, Debbie.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And they do some great stuff. Usually we get to see him a couple times a year, and who knows, might still run into him somewhere. I'm not sure what his schedule is this year if he's even hitting many shows at all. But definitely can't wait to see him again sometime. And this is a great deal. If you've not really read she's a lot of fun, and they've updated the coloring in this. It looks fantastic.
It does. The pages, you can see some of the pages here, and this was originally from 1994 through 1996. And now, as he words it, she is the. How did he word it in his video? He said something like, "This was the female anti-hero, like the storyline that started that whole craze off." I forget his exact wording. He said,
he was years ahead of a lot of the stuff that's come out recently. He's like almost 20 years ahead of it. So
so hard to believe it's been that long since this all launched originally. Look at that awesome shirt.
They've done some cool clothes stuff. I've seen some stuff on. They've done Indiegogo before with clothing and stuff like that. So a lot of cool stuff out there. So
he even has an Ashcan one where it's an upcoming issue. It's the pencils, so you can get a sneak peek of an upcoming issue that hasn't been released yet.
Billy's got gorgeous pencils. I saw some of his stuff when he did the Sergeant Rock and the Lost Battalion several years ago, which was a pet project of his that he was able to do through DC, and just a fantastic pencils.
He also did a beautiful job on I'm forgetting the title he used, but it's the Christmas story. It's the Nativity story.
Oh gosh, I have it too. It was another gorgeous book, and it tells the Nativity, and I saw some of the original pencils on that one too, as well as when you see the finished pages. It's just fantastic. So that's another one. I bought several copies of that and gave them out that year because they were so good. I gave them to a couple of pastor friends and stuff like that. So good luck, Billy. You can send the 10% of your Kickstarter over to us for endorsing you. Just kidding. Well, we got one more that does need our endorsement, though. They are funded, and it was our guest last week was Rodney Fike from Hasm. Pitter Patters at 1928. They're doing really good. They've hit their $1,000 goal.
Backer mark. Wasn't that a stretch goal? 50 backers?
Yes, and they had dropped down, but now they're back up to 50. So they've hit the stretch goal. I'll find the stretch. You can see a lot of cool. This is a great looking comic. I've read the first issue. I picked it up before, so this is issue. You can get issue 2 by itself. You can get 1 and 2 together, different covers. A lot of fun stuff there. So here's the rewards here.
If your kids enjoyed like Tom and Jerry that recently came out in the theaters, they might enjoy this. It is family friendly, but some of the humor is geared for the adults to understand. But there's nothing graphic or anything about it. So, it'd be a good one for your kids to look at.
Yep. But 50 backers gets the Scarlet Huntress PDF from the Forney, Sean and Steph Forney. If they hit 100 backers, it gets a really cool trading card. So they're halfway to that. They've got 9 days to go. Let me head back up and see if we can check that framework there. Yep. They got 9 days to go. They're at $1,928. So check it out. We want you to support our Kickstarter. We want you to support everybody else's Kickstarter as well. While we have Comic-Cons now, and we'll be in Tampa Bay Comic-Con this weekend coming up. You can still support stuff online if you can't make it out to the Comic-Cons, and definitely support us through that because we're really excited about everything we got going on.
And if you're not sure if you want to support our Kickstarter and you're going to be in Tampa, we're going to have our hard copy issues of Crimson Shadows 1 and 2, Poe 1 and 2, Wretched Realms 1. We'll have Brett's Boomtown books there. So you can see the quality firsthand. And, our Kickstarter will be going all weekend here. So, once you see it in person, feel free to pledge at that point too.
Mentioned Gem City Comic Con. Kevin and I were there this past weekend. Love Gem City. Jesse puts on a really fun show. It's a kind of more of a pure Comic Con, which means he's not bringing any media celebrities in. That's not the focus. The focus is always on the comic guests.
The good old days.
Yep. And so we had a lot of, and it was a great time. And the good thing and bad thing about the show is it is like a family reunion because there's so many people that we see at this show we only see there, and of course haven't seen some of these people in almost 2 years. Everybody's hugging, everybody's catching up. It was great to see everybody, and then seeing some of the fans. And I've got younger fans that I had not seen, in 2 years, and watching how much they've grown up just in the last 2 years. One of them told me she's turning 21 this year, and I couldn't believe it because I've known her since she was 5.
Yeah, it's crazy, with how long. I'm entering. This is my 12th year of doing shows, and you're around year 17 or so. You're about 5 years more than me. So, we've been on the circuit for a while.
And I've done Gem City for, I think, about 12 years now. I think I only missed the first couple.
Ever since the old Nutter Center.
Yeah, oh, even before that, I started doing when they were in the center for the
that's
Student
right.
Union when it was a 1-day show, and then
Was
they
that
moved
when
to
it was the
another
big
center.
oval? You
Yeah,
could walk the concourse?
they had a no, that was a different show. That was Cincinnati's first one.
Oh, that's right.
But they were in the Student Union. They had a big room for the dealers, and then out in the hallway, which was also all in a side room and it was all connected, was where all the artists were, and we were set up there. And then when they moved to the Nutter Center, we went to the 2-day show. Loved the Nutter Center. We were on the main floor of
You're
the
in the
center.
basketball court in the middle of the arena.
And there's plenty of room, as well as the fact that parking was right there. It was free parking. The Dayton Convention is nice. I mean, there is free parking on the streets on the weekends, but heck, even the garage wasn't bad. It was only $6 all day, and actually Sunday the gates were open, so we all got to leave for free. Right. So, but he put on a great show. The crowd was great. He runs a good. You can see, we're all just trying to get back into the flow of doing a Comic-Con. So there's everybody's trying to remember how to set up again and go from there. And but we had a lot of fun. We had a great response to the Kickstarter. I know Kevin talked to several people. I talked to a couple, and they at the show backed the Kickstarter.
Yep. So here's the Tampa Bay Comic Convention website. So if you are going to be in the area, you can check out the website, tampabaycomicconvention.com, or just type Tampa Bay Comic Con in your search engine. You'll find it, or look for our event page on Facebook, and we got links there. So check it out there. We will be there. Brett will have a table in Artist Alley, and then Kevin and I will be hosting the Bardstone table as an exhibitor's booth, as it's called.
Right. Yeah, I'll be, I believe, at D13 if I saw it right online is what it looked like, and I'm on a corner space. So we're kind of where I'm at last few years of doing the show. They kind of nice things to try to keep some of us in the similar areas, which I like that because I'm good there. So
good stuff.
And it's time to check in. Checked in for my flight tomorrow, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, I gotta do that.
Well, it's unlike Southwest where you have to rush to get it. Our seats are already reserved, so we're good.
Right, they're already reserved. Doesn't hurt though to check
Southwest, we're sitting there going, kind of like trying to get Comic-Con tickets, going refresh, so we can get the earliest boarding time.
That's right.
So, but yeah, looking forward to Tampa Bay. We're gonna have T-24 down there hanging out.
Oh, good.
They're on the road today, so they're driving down now.
I'll be wearing T-24 t-shirts all weekend. I got 5 packed.
Yeah, I got to get mine packed still, but that's what I'll be wearing all weekend. I've got the ones they did for Crimson Shadows. I've got the Poe one they did, and I'll pack a couple other ones. I got to see if I can find something because Lisa wants me to take a picture with her wearing one of the Harry Potter shirts they've done. I just got to find something to go with it and see if I can do that, as well as figure out if I can pack it because weight is kind of heavy on some of this stuff. So
yeah, it's always that balancing act of getting you got to figure out what inventory you're bringing, what quantities of inventory, all to fit within the weight restraints of the airlines.
Yeah, actually, I think I've got all my books. I've got them all packed. There's a few of the Bardstone stuff I'm not bringing because I didn't want to overload for stuff that I don't need because you guys are going to have it. But I've got all the Boomtown stuff so that I have available right now and quantities I have, so I can bring those with me. And then I got a few other stuff. And I have some prints that I have left over, not a ton. But we'll see what I have there, and then we'll go from there. So, but it's gonna be a great time. I look forward to seeing everybody down there because I know I told people 2 years ago I wasn't sure if I was gonna be back at Tampa Bay last year only because of the scheduling,
right?
And but it turned out nobody was there last year. So glad to be back this year. In fact, we did try to go last year because they thought they might, we thought that things were only going to be a couple weeks and it turned out to be 15 months. We had signed up again for Tampa Bay saying, oh, we can do those dates. That'll work.
Right.
And then it wasn't. So it was good to have them hold up on the money. So we're all set there. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh. So we should probably start the show.
Yeah, well, I think we've been talking pretty good. We said we're going to cover some Kickstarter stuff today. We had a lot to cover, but
yes.
We last week we had people on. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Loki finale.
Yeah. It almost feels like a million years ago since the Loki finale, but I was very happy with this series and how it turned out.
What I find interesting is the people that don't like it. They're looking at too much as trying to say is it supposed to be its own thing when this is still with Marvel the bigger picture. Same thing with WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and we got the big bad reveal for this one and who's kind of the big bad for this one. But there was also a tie-in to WandaVision. Did you catch that?
Well, there's been a couple tie-ins. Are you talking about the finale specifically or like an Easter egg that was in there? Can you hear me? Brett froze. So either I don't know if people can hear me or not, but Brett's in a frozen state here on the screen. So I will keep talking. I do know a tie-in. One of the tie-ins to WandaVision is goes back to the fact that Loki couldn't use magic in the TVA, and what people noticed is when they went into the rooms where the Time Lords were, there were the symbols that were on the wall. Oh, there's Brett.
Yeah, sorry, it's my internet.
No, that's okay.
Wrong,
so I was just saying the tie-in I know of for sure. It was kind of an Easter egg, kind of hidden in there. Loki was unable to do magic in the TVA. Yeah. And what they noticed is there were runes on the walls and stuff that looked like what they were using in WandaVision to stop Scarlet from using magic.
Well, the one I was specifically alluding to was when they were meeting with He Who Remains, who we now know from everything online, it was Kang the Conqueror, and he's kind of going on. He said, and that's when he goes, and there's the change. And it was actually during the last episode of WandaVision, and the last one of this, the exact minute and second when he says that is when Wanda took over, became the Scarlet Witch.
It does tie in. There's been my understanding is there's been no confirmation of that, but it does. If nothing else, it seems too coincidental with how perfectly it times up
to the minute and second.
Right. So I have a feeling we are going to find out that is what he's referencing, but technically I'm just saying that's more of a fan theory now, but I believe it personally.
No, I do too. I when you're looking into it, I've seen people post the comparison, like for it to sync up that well when you're watching them together. Right. That's not a coincidence. That's an intentional thing. And the nice thing is they're not trying to give away anything by telling us anything or confirmation on certain things. They love, I think, that the fans are finding this stuff out. That shows that there are people are actually watching and paying attention.
Yeah, but I did like the fact that these runes were appearing inside the Time Lord's chamber and these other places, and the hexagon pattern was showing up too. That was in WandaVision. So they're what I like about Marvel is they don't feel they have to unpackage everything for you. They throw it in there, and they're, like you said, they're fine with us doing the research and figuring out on our own. And sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. You know, we still don't have Mephisto, which is what I'm really hoping for. He was always one of my favorites, but maybe we won't get him till Fantastic Four.
Oh, and that's possible. He may still be something that's been alluded to this whole thing, and that's the big reveal come later. It's like when they announce, He Who Remains, and figure out, it's King Conqueror. It's like, okay, this is kind of interesting that they went that route with it.
And King the Conqueror is related to Reed Richards somehow. I forget the exact relation. Let's see, King.
Well, and he's from the 31st century, so I would say a descendant of some.
Yeah, it's like his grandson, or let's see. Yeah, he's Nathaniel Richards, so he's a descendant of Reed Richards. So I wonder if this will, making him the key to all this. We know the end of this phase is supposed to be the Fantastic Four movie.
Right.
So it's interesting they're choosing this. So
yeah. Well, and the one thing they alluded to too was he said that, if the timeline splits, which, we commented about in an early episode where we saw the timeline splitting and then they act like it didn't happen, but now we see it happening in full force this episode. But he mentioned about that with the timeline splitting, then his variants, there'll be more of them, and some of them aren't as, decent as he is. I forget how he exactly put it. Basically, alluded that there's going to be some worse versions of him that could pop up.
So here's what I'm reading right now. So Nathaniel Richards is a time traveler from Earth 616 and a descendant of Reed Richards, but some records indicate he may actually be a descendant of Dr. Doom.
Ah.
So interesting.
Well, what if there's a mix of both in there, though, because as time goes on,
maybe happen. Reed Richards found a female version of himself like Loki and created Dr. Doom.
Yeah, I can't wait to see if we get that. What's funny, though, is the played Sylvie, though. She says she was unaware of a second season happening until she saw it aired or during that last episode. Kevin wants the multiverse of Marvel zombies. That one I could actually see them doing as an animated series.
That would be a good what if.
Yeah.
That's coming out.
Yeah. Because it's kind of how they did the series, was more of as a what if.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting. So
of course, that means we'd have to see what's his name with 82 tables at every convention again.
Yeah. Well, he's still hitting those shows that he can.
I know. And you know,
and he still doesn't want to be anywhere near me.
and thanks to Photoshop, he can show long lines at his table.
Yeah.
But he still gets invited to everywhere, so I don't get it.
No, not everywhere. There's some places that haven't, but I think it's
I know,
very,
but I've seen some upcoming shows. It's like, really, again?
Well, it's because it's a draw for some reason, but
it's not.
I like
his table's empty.
I know. But I like the first Marvel Zombies, which he did covers. He didn't do the story. He did covers. And then he's done some posters and all that stuff. But after the first Marvel Zombies, it got a little redundant. So
yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. So well.
He who shall not be named.
Yeah.
I know.
He'll be a table.
I know. That's
he's
exactly what I was referring to, being as a guest.
It's because he's friends with the owners of the show. So.
Yeah, well.
But hey, oh well. We'll be there, and we'll have some new
I'm just
stuff.
going to Photoshop long lines on my booth so I can start getting free tables.
Yeah. Yeah, he got busted on that. I don't think that's working anymore. So, but we'll see. But yeah. So Loki, I liked the way it ended. I liked the direction it went with everything. I know a lot of people that didn't like it. That wasn't the satisfied ending they wanted. I was like, but it never was. These are not meant to be, the end all be all. It's like, they're really setting up so much of this next phase with these series.
Well, here's where the real value comes in too, because you look back at the previous phases. Mm-hmm. Marvel did not have the Disney Plus series to set them up.
Right.
So like at the time Age of Ultron came out, a lot of people were very disappointed with Age of Ultron because it really was a movie where the whole goal was to reset the chess table to put the players where they needed to be for the final phase. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people felt like, oh, that was just a filler episode. Well, now that they have like Disney Plus, they can do all the backstory stuff that way so that the movies can focus on the big items and not have to rearrange,
Right.
Because any story, and this happens all the time, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, and when they were in their prime, people were like, oh, these are so awesome. Then they do an episode to create story and everyone's like, oh, that was horrible. They slowed it down. But think about Walking Dead. I love the first several episodes. That was season 1. Then season 2 comes out and they got mad. It was so slowed down. It was like they had to set up the characters. Right. You have to do character setup. Yeah. So Disney Plus gives us the character setup where, those of us who like all that backstory, we can watch it in the nuance and enjoy it. And if you don't want that, that's okay. Just watch the highlight episodes and then watch the movies. Exactly. But it's personally, I've been enjoying all the series, and WandaVision was one that people were, at first like, I don't know, what's this parody stuff like that, but now it's making more and more sense as they've gone on. And then Falcon Winter Soldier, liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun with that one. I liked the setup on that one. I mean, they set up basically, we've got a full setup of the mystical stuff we needed, the multiverse stuff we needed for Cosmos stuff, and then we also got the home base stuff that we got set up, all within those 3 series as we're going forward. Considering the fact that what we had, what's the last thing we had? We had the Infinity War and then Endgame, and that kind of just upended everything. So now we got everything reset, and we're ready to launch again with these new series coming out or new movies. Right. Whereas if they weren't doing it this way, the next movie that comes out, it would just be a whole bunch of like montages to kind of like Star Wars Episode 9. The first half of the movie was fixing the movie before. So it's like these clips of parts that they just put together to force the story along to get it to where they need it to be. And it hurts the quality of a film when that's what you do. Mm-hmm. The Disney stuff gives you quality storytelling to allow the action to be in the movies, in my opinion. Yeah, and next thing we've got the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings coming out. I will say I am looking forward to that one. The first trailer that came out, I'm like, okay, But the second trailer, I was like, "Ooh, this is looking good." So,
well, and then I noticed that they really Marvel's always like to do it. The first trailer, sometimes people are like, "Oh, I can't wait," but a lot of times the first trailer is very just bland and basic, and then they wait till a little bit longer, and then you get a little bit more.
yeah, and this is where the richness of the universe comes in. Is even that final scene in the trailer where you see Wong from Doctor Strange fighting Abomination from the Incredible Hulk movie, and it's just like that little 1 second clip. Everyone's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot with this one because the 10 Rings is takes us right back to Iron Man 3,
right?
And we find out that the Mandarin is real. He's not the Mandarin you thought he was. That was just an actor, but I'm sure we're going to see the real Mandarin, or if they don't give him it through the whole thing, it'll be towards the end. So,
and then don't forget that little Marvel one shot they did where that guy was broken out of jail who was pretending to be the Mandarin, and they reveal he's going to meet the real Mandarin.
Right. Yeah,
so,
that was So, but they got an interesting cast. It's funny. It seems like any movie with Asians anymore, it's got to have Awkwafina in it. I like her. I think she's a good actress. But she's gone from this obscure comic to really hitting all these movies, and I think she's gonna be interesting to see in this. She plays Katie. She's a hotel valet, which will be kind of interesting. Tony Leung is a great actor, and he's actually listed under Wikipedia as the Mandarin. So that's who's going to be playing the Mandarin in this one.
Oh, they actually labeled him as that?
In Wikipedia, so it's not a confirmation, but I would say if it's in Wikipedia, typically
how do you spell his name?
Tony, and then the last name is Leung. And he
let's
played
pull up his IMDb and see what that says.
He plays Wen Wu, and it says / the Mandarin. So the character name is tied into
okay, so he's the father. He's Shang-Chi's father.
Yep, and the leader of the 10 Rings.
The trailer.
Yep.
Okay, let's see what he's listed as in this is Shang-Chi. Wen Wu is his official so they haven't revealed it officially, but the theory it sounds like is he's going to be the Mandarin. Which from the trailer, it looks like that.
Yes. And then you got Michelle Yeoh in this. She's been popping up everywhere. I think she just said she's got to do every movie she can. It seems like every time I turn around, there she is, which is great because I like Michelle Yeoh. Well, I've been a fan of hers for 25 years. So
the other interesting thing is, though, these 10 rings.
Yeah.
It looks like they fit on the forearms, whereas we've always, in the comics, haven't they always been like the rings on the fingers?
That I'm not sure of.
I always thought they were rings on the finger, kind of like Tom Brady.
Whenever a little bit I read of dealing with the Mandarin and stuff, I always thought the 10 Rings was just the name of the group. It was the organization, and so I'm not as up to date on that as I would like to be. But yeah, it's that'd be something to check on it. So, because it's always been, it's like here they call it the 10 Rings organization. So I'm sure the rings have something to definitely power and stuff like that. So
well, here we go. Share this.
Yep.
According to the Googles, actually this is the DuckDuckGo. But like here's an illustration of the 10 rings from one of the old comics. So
okay.
So it was actually 10 rings, but now it looks like they've modified it. Or maybe they changed sizes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, if they're mystical rings, then they can kind of adjust as needed. So
maybe they were rings for giants.
Yeah.
There's the 10 rings there. So it looks like yeah. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
I'm looking forward to it.
Stark made them, and so they have nanotech that adjusts the size to whatever you need it, like Hulk's glove.
Well, they're supposed to launch Shang-Chi in LA on August 16th, but it hits the regular theaters nationwide September 3rd.
Okay.
So, and that's from the Marvel website. I'm on that site now. So, nice. But definitely really excited about this. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a good movie, and definitely gonna fit into what we've already seen between some of the other movies. And of course, we got Wong from the Doctor Strange stuff is gonna be in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're starting to bridge the gaps there and then go from there. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what's in this movie that may have some references back to the series we've seen.
Yeah.
So, and I guarantee there is, but I would assume there's going to be a hint of something. So,
speaking of movies, we're going to get in. I saw Old. I'm gonna give a little review of that a little bit later. You also watched the He-Man, but I didn't see it. Did you see the Snake Eyes movie?
No, I want to go see that.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet either. So
that just opened last weekend too.
Yeah.
So with traveling to Dayton, I didn't get a chance to, and of course going to Tampa. So I'm hoping to see it in the next couple weeks here. Looks really good. I like the guys that are in it. I think it's
there's 2 movies coming out this week, which I probably won't see till I get back from Florida. The Green Knight and Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, I'm real excited about Jungle Cruise. The Green Knight, I'm not as familiar with.
That's a King Arthur based movie. It looks really good.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see that one.
I like stuff like that. So I definitely, that sounds interesting. It says Headstrong Nephew. It goes on a daring quest to confront the Green Knight.
It's from the Arthurian legends.
So that'd be interesting. I'll check that out. I had not seen that. Looks like Dev Patel stars in it. So interesting.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It's going to be one of the movies I think you're either going to love or hate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's, because the Arthurian stuff is, there's so many different variations we've seen over the last 15 years that going in a different direction, maybe a good thing, or again, it could be, it could fall flat on its face.
To me, it kind of felt a little more like the old Excalibur, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to tell from a 2-minute trailer. So
right. Yeah, I think about checking that one out. I definitely want to check out Jungle Cruise. I've been excited about that one for a long time because I enjoy The Rock and I enjoy the last trailer they came out with. Looks very Jumanji-ish, and I enjoyed that.
Here's what I was thinking. To me, you know how you see some of these kind of creatures that they're fighting?
Yeah.
It looked very Pirates of the Caribbean to me.
Yes, and that's actually been referenced a few times. That
I wonder if they're making this part of that universe, just a different time period.
I could see that. I could see them trying to broaden that out a little bit because they are doing a new Pirates movie down the road here. I don't know if they even started shooting that yet.
And they've been trying to figure out how to continue that universe without Johnny Depp. So if you could connect The Rock to that universe, that would be a way to extend it.
Yeah, and it would kind of make sense that they are building this universe around these classic rides that they're making movies out of. Mm-hmm. So they have these adventure rides and things like that from the parks, and then now they've got went from Pirates, which was I think even a bigger hit than what they expected, and went on for 5 films, and now we've got the Jungle Cruise, and they're tying into that. I'm really excited about that one, like I said, and it does look like it could tie into that, and it's got a very Pirates feel to it. So it's got that grand scope.
I'm trying to figure out when it takes place. Early 20th century, it says.
Yeah, so, I believe it's around, I would say between 19, it could be in the 20s, but I would say it was a little bit even earlier because it's, I would think it's more like 1900s and 1910.
So when would Pirates of the Caribbean be?
Oh, that'd be 1700s.
Yeah, so that could still be part of that, like I said, the universe, just a completely different time period.
Right.
So
and that's what I'm thinking, because even expanding that out more is a way to create stuff within it and go from there. Yeah. Because then they could actually go back and and there's some of the stuff they're dealing with and hit that. But they're looking for something that is like an ancient place. So they're on the Amazon, so not in the same area, but they're definitely in in the Western Hemisphere. So
maybe the big reveal at the end is they open up this tomb and Jack Sparrow walks out.
Yeah.
I'm out of rum.
You're like, hello.
I ran out of rum 200 years ago. I need some.
Well, and they could tie in. One way of tying in it would be dealing with Davy Jones.
Yep.
That's an ongoing type character. So,
wasn't he replaced by Orlando Bloom?
Yeah, and after the first one or second one, first one I think it was, or second one, whatever it was, he took the mantle up after they defeated him. So it had been the second one. And then when he returned later on, he was still that character and they'd aged everybody a little bit. So, yeah. So it'll be interesting. So it's funny. I was looking at the Wikipedia and they had pre-production on Jungle Cruise started in 2015. So
wow, that long ago.
Yeah, they already and they tied Dwayne Johnson into that back then. Yep.
He was probably half the size back then.
Yeah. And in 2018,
it took so long because they had to keep up increasing the size of his outfits.
Yeah. So So I'll go from there. So I'm excited to see that one. It was supposed to have been out last year. So it's been sitting around for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So now, of course, you can go see it in the theater, which I plan on doing, or you can get it on Disney Plus. So
yeah, I'm going to see it in the theater. I've noticed a lot of these movies, including old. Move over to that one.
Yeah, let's go on that one. I saw the trailer for that this morning because I didn't realize this had come out either. So and it's M. Night Shyamalan.
So M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
It sounds like a
Shyamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of his movies. I always enjoy his movies because he does he always adds some kind of twist or interesting take in his movies, but he never reveals it in his trailers. That's what I love about him. So many movies, you see the trailer and you know the whole movie, at the end before you even get there. So it's an interesting movie, definitely worth seeing. It's a typical M. Night movie. But one that the trends I'm noticing, I saw it in Quiet Place and this, and I think other movies are doing it too. The director speaks at the beginning of the film, thanking you for coming out to the theater to watch it on the big screen and the importance of that. So,
I think we're seeing that more and more, and I think it's definitely needed. And I got no problem. Someone says I don't want to go, but I can watch stuff at home. You want to pay for it? That's fine. But if you can go and support the theaters because theaters themselves need the support.
So the basic premise I'll say that they do reveal through the trailers is there is this getaway place they go to, and there's this secluded beach that they come across. And when they get to the beach, they find out time doesn't move the same there, and they start aging rapidly, and they can't get off the beach. For some reason, the beach is keeping them there. So at the beginning of the movie right there, that character, they're 6 years old at the beginning, and by the end of the day, they're much older. And so
I knew something interesting going to happen with the kids because in the trailer, when I watched it this morning, it said it says no kids allowed. Who cares? Take the kids anyways. So there's a reason the kids appear to be aging here in this trailer than the adults do. So, and
then I also think they did a phenomenal job with the aging makeup. For the adults, it's very subtle how they add the wrinkle lines and everything as the time progresses, so that by the end they look much older. But as you're watching it, you don't notice it right away. It's like at some point you're like, oh, they have been aging them. I mean, so they were very subtle in adding the aging process to them. So I thought they did a phenomenal job there.
Sorry, that's starting to loop too much and starting to mess with my eyes.
Oh, that's okay. That was just the old website.
The old website. They need a new website.
They need a new website. That's going to be the sequel called New.
Yeah.
Anyways, as a movie, I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it, right, Jill?
It was very good.
It was very good. On the Jillometer, it ranked as very good.
The Jillometer.
She did have popcorn, so that usually influences her rating. If there's no popcorn, a movie already is a C.
If I believe I read it right, it was popcorn with ranch seasoning.
Yes. Actually, for her, it is not popcorn with ranch seasoning. It's ranch seasoning with popcorn.
Here's your 5 kernels and your bucket of ranch seasoning.
I am not exaggerating when I say this. She has the bag half filled, right? And then she goes and adds the thing. When she comes back, I actually see a puff of smoke in the air from how she pours it out. Am I exaggerating?
No, it's true.
There is. It's kind of like, when like in the cartoons, the character like runs and there's a puff of smoke.
Yep.
That's Jill. There's a puff of ranch seasoning in the air where she was standing. So, but she enjoyed it as well. So I do recommend go seeing it if you like M. Night movies. I think you'll like this one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I do enjoy his movies too. So I've liked pretty much everything he's done. Even when people say they thought it was stupid, and I liked it. So
I like his own thing. He's not copying everybody else.
That's what I like about it. It's his little thing. He has his twist, or as Robot Chicken used to make fun of him, go, "Ooh, what a twist!"
Right.
But I like his stuff. Different things he's popped up. I've watched his movies over the years quite a few times, each one. So I'll definitely have to check this one out. If I don't see it in the theater, because there's so much now coming out, which is great, then I'll definitely check it out when it gets on home theater
Also,
stuff. So.
one side note: once the movie's over, there is no end credit scene, so you don't need to sit through the credits like I did.
Excellent. We can run out and pee.
That's right.
Well, good. Yeah. So you saw that. I had mentioned to you I watched the new He-Man cartoon, He-Man Revelations, on Netflix. It is executive produced and written by Kevin Smith, who is currently filming Clerks 3.
Yes.
And Clerks 3 got picked up by Lionsgate, so it's getting worldwide distribution through Lionsgate, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
But I really enjoyed this. It is, in a way, a sequel to the original series, but I think I feel like it was referencing more the original comics that used to come with the action figures before there was a cartoon series, which a lot of people don't remember because they either got thrown away, destroyed, and people run them. You can go buy, because I bought a hardcover that collects all the comics, and it's about like yay thick. So there was a lot of comics.
I still have my little mini comics from the characters.
Yeah, and those are worth. They're worth some money. They're worth big money because people want those. And I think with this new series, they're worth even more. But there is a couple of things with this. Watch the series. Don't go to the after series special they did because it will give a ton of spoilers. And even at the beginning, they tell you if you haven't watched the series, go back and watch it. And they pause for like about 30 seconds. And then it's like, okay, let's get on with this. But it's fun to watch that afterwards. But it's definitely, I liked the character designs on this. You know, they gave it a nice update. Way better than the last Masters of the Universe cartoon, which made everybody look like they were a little elongated and hunched.
Yeah.
I never liked that, but this one they definitely try to keep it as similar to the original, but give it a little more realistic feel for
it's a little more updated style from the original.
And you get a lot more of the lore of the Masters of the Universe in this than we got even in some of the original stuff. But they definitely pulled from the series on a lot of stuff, and they're expounding on things. And I think the only spoiler I'm going to give is the main character you're following is Teela in this. And Teela was always a fun character, even in the original one, but they didn't do a ton with her. So they've expanded her character quite a bit in this and expanded the world. And it's a completely different viewpoint of Eternia and everything. So I really, really enjoyed it. I think when people are pissed about it, I'll tell you why people are pissed about it, because it's not the original series. They kind of thought it was going to be. Kevin Smith, when he explains it, he says, I'm going to make based on the original series, but it's kind of his own thing. Now, there's a couple of times I was like, okay, this is Kevin just kind of being Kevin, but the humor is toned down some versus before, so it's not the campy humor, even with Orko. But at the same time, you still have some of that the way Orko was. He's not like a completely different character in this.
Now, for me, I haven't seen it yet, but based on post, the reason why I'm understanding people are mad, this goes back more to the current culture we're in, where the women are being portrayed everywhere, the men are being pushed out in storylines, and a lot of people are just mad that they've always associated Masters of the Universe with He-Man. And in this one, the spotlight is on Teela. I personally don't mind it because she's a very well-established character in this show, and she's not meant to replace He-Man. So I personally don't have any issue with it.
No, and when you see it, it makes sense. And there is another character that was a minor character in like one episode of the original series. They've made more of a regular series character. Yeah. But it makes sense in what they're doing with this. And there's a lot of the female characters, which sometimes get set to the side a little bit, but they're not discounting the men. None of the men have, like, Man-at-Arms does not become unable to. What they've done is they've shown that there has been an age progression of time from the series to this. I mean, very first episode, right away, we're getting Man-at-Arms is technically retiring, and they're handing off the Man-at-Arms title to Teela. She's the new Man-at-Arms of the Guard.
Which is actually, it was Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan is Man-at-Arms. So.
I always thought it was funny. They always called him Duncan. As a kid, I was like, why don't you call him Man-at-Arms?
Yeah. But Man-at-Arms was his title. And that
was his title, right.
And the toy called him Man-at-Arms. But yeah, so he was Duncan.
It was always funny to me. He was Duncan, though, as a child.
His character was great in this. I really enjoyed his character a lot in that. And
does he still have the awesome mustache?
Yes.
All right. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. In fact, I think it's even more impressive in this. So
now here, from an outsider, because I haven't seen it yet, from the trailer, for me, the pros and cons, I'm loving the look of the animation style. I have to say I'm not happy about Mark Hamill being Skeletor. I told Brett off screen. his voice is becoming too recognizable is the problem, and he's too associated with the Joker. And while I love Mark Hamill as a voice actor, he doesn't have enough range. I'm hearing the Joker when I see the trailer.
I heard that a little bit more in the first episode, and after a while, it kind of just went away thinking about it.
Yeah.
He has different inflections he brings out at different times for Skeletor, the way Skeletor talks. He doesn't get into the higher pitch stuff that Alan Oppenheimer did as Skeletor. It's a little different, but it is. I mean, it's one of those things where he got the job for, I think, two reasons. One is he can do voices, and number two is Kevin Smith is going to give him every job that he can.
Yeah,
and that's
Kevin Smith's a fanboy. That's all it is.
Was it a bad choice? No, I don't think it was. Is it a great choice? I don't know if anybody else would do. There would be any better off the top of my head, but he brings in a lot of great voices. We got Kevin Conroy in there. You've got Mark Hamill, and they go through the different people they've had to do voices. They got Lena Headey too. So
Skeletor is so iconic as who he is. To me, you got to keep the voice. Now, it doesn't mean it's the same voice actor, but like Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
If you cast a different actor, you got to get somebody that is at least in the same.
Well, and that's the thing with the Optimus Prime is, they had other ones, and I've met one of the guys. He's a nice guy. But when he did the voice in front of my table one time to this kid holding the Optimus Prime, he didn't sound like Optimus Prime.
You're like, you're not him.
I'm like, you're not the guy. So, I mean, that's why they went back to
many people online do perfect Skeletor impression. So it's a very doable voice.
Let me put it this way. This is from watching the Rob Paulson podcast talking about over the years of how to do voice acting. There's a lot of people that do great impressions. They can't act though. And that's where the difference comes in. And just because you do that doesn't mean you can actually act, and it wouldn't come out right. I would say this. While the trailer makes it sound like Joker, I would give that definitely Mark Hamill always has his own tone in there that you hear. But after a while, it makes sense. And Skeletor is not the primary focus through every episode. So we don't have constantly Joker stuff. So to put it that way. So I think you'll be fine with it once it gets going. So,
but everything else though, I'm liking the look of it, the feel of it. I was reading somewhere, I don't know if you noticed or not, since you saw it. Somebody said there's some Easter eggs in here that even connect the Dolph Lundgren Masters of the Universe to the series.
You know what?
I
didn't notice that per se, but I wasn't looking for it either.
Right.
I could see that in some ways. It was. I tried to watch that again a few years ago, and that's such a bad movie all around.
I know.
It's just bad. I'd love to see a good live action one, but at the same time, they don't need to. If they can do good animation, tell good stories. Now, just so you know, this is the first part is out. It's like the first 6 episodes. They're about 25, 27 minutes each, so they're not very long. So I zipped through it faster. I thought I put it on Sunday night after I got home and got situated for the night. It was just kind of decompressing from the drive home, and I zipped through the first 3 episodes, and then I finished it off on Monday night. And I'll probably go through it again. But what I liked about it was I saw characters, vehicles, and stuff that I don't remember seeing as much in the series. They would show stuff in the series because they were bringing out a new toy, like the shark car. It looks in front of the shark. You see it in this. The horse there, that if you scroll back up, that's a horse that He-Man's standing next to there, and that horse was one they always showed with Fisto or the Kung Fu guy. So that horse was there. Some of the side characters, they actually have Stinkor in this, and Stinkor is done by Jason Mewes. And he was fun in that, and there's different things that you got Triclops, you got Lockjaws, you got a lot of the classic characters. And in a lot of ways, but they don't feel as buffoonish as the original series. They actually feel a little bit more actual villains.
Right.
So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. I'll probably watch it again. And they're tying in a lot of stuff because people I want to say, it's all about He-Man. Forget that, the Sorceress was there. That's a female character. Tila was always there. Evelyn. Those are main characters that were always there. So, it all makes sense. And they don't. This isn't one of those shows like that some people complain about that. Oh, it's too female driven. They're just trying to make the men stupid. I don't feel the male characters were stupid in this at all.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but based on what I've been looking at, I don't think they're doing that either. I don't think that's their intention. Here's the thing: at the end of the day, we got to remember this is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's a toy line that was created for little boys when they were 8 years old.
Yep.
The whole, after you watch this, go back and watch the Toys That Made Us.
Yes.
Look at the history of the Master of the Universe. This was never intended to still be around.
Well,
30 years later.
I think on Netflix there is an actual documentary just on that, besides the Toys That Made Us, but a documentary on He-Man, which goes even a little deeper into where it came from and everything else.
Yeah.
But one thing to mention though, this is not He-Man in the Masters Universe. This is just Masters of the Universe Revelation, and that's actually a key thing. We're talking about Masters of the Universe. So they again, they're going to deal in the lore of Grayskull and everything else, which is really cool. And I think that everything that we got in this first half, there's a lot more that Kevin's written will explain a lot more stuff, which I think is really expounding on this universe and could really create a great ongoing series.
And I was reading somewhere too, did they reveal like a season 2 or something for this?
Well, the after show thing did a lot of behind the scenes stuff of this existing season. And of course, they're alluding to the next one, but they won't talk about it at all because there's a lot of spoilers. It's left on a cliffhanger. Yeah. There's a lot more going on. So,
one thing I was reading is they were speculating season 2 will focus much more on He-Man himself, but I don't know.
I could see that. I could see that, and maybe each section is concentrating on certain characters a little more than others, but we'll see. I think it'll make sense once you see it, whether the direction they may be going.
Yeah,
I know during that after party thing, or after a show thing, they were showing some of the toys. So there is toys coming out based on these character designs, and they look like they're good sized toys too. They're not the little.
Do they explain in the series why people on Eternia have such short, stubby legs and huge upper bodies?
No.
They were always in that half squat position too. That looked like they were like about to sit on a toilet.
That was just cheap animation. So they actually don't do. They're a little more of this.
No, I'm talking about the toys. They were always
Oh, that was because originally the toy line, remember, from the Toys That Made Us, it was a different line, and they just took the molds and reformatted that way. But that was so that way they were made that way so that way they would stand up.
Yep.
Without any help.
Even the character, like that's what I mean. Watch the Toys That Made Us. This was never a serious thing meant to last 30 years later with the whole mythology around it.
Yep.
Like the comic books being added was a last minute pitch that was thrown in. Cringer, that they had a tiger from another play set. And they're like, it doesn't even match it's not even the right to scale. And they're like, we'll just have them ride it then. I mean, like they were just throwing stuff in.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing to make this. And we've just all, everything aligned right that we all fell in love with it. And it is still around today. But so, remember, watch it as a kid. Be a kid when you watch it. Enjoy it just for being fun.
Yeah, and like I said, it is definitely a little bit more than just a kids show, but it's got. I enjoyed it a lot as adult, and I love kids stuff still to this day. So I watch a lot of that stuff, and I own the entire series of He-Man Master Universe. You can watch it on one of the streamings; they have it available. It's kind of cheesy now, but still fun and nostalgic.
Especially, it definitely was not made for binge watching because you feel like at least 50% of every episode is the same animation being reused. But that's how they did 65 episodes.
It's He-Man running diagonally.
Yeah.
But well, that's what it was. Because I mean, when we watch the Toys That Made Us, when they talk about and then the documentary on He-Man, which is about the toy and the series, they talk about how it was like basically they paid almost nothing to get 65 episodes,
right? And
then they started, and that was the first year, and then they started adding episodes to for the next years to create new toys, new figures.
Right.
So it's a lot of that stuff. So like I said, this one has a lot of that stuff. So they're not waiting to reveal. It's boom. Here's a bunch of stuff you'll recognize from the toys that we didn't really get a whole lot of out of the series. So I think it was kind of cool on that. Yeah. But before we sign off here, I wanted to give a quick update on Poe. We still need $4.
$4.
So it's if you're fans of Better Off Dead, it's $2 times 2, and $2 twice, man. And so definitely jump on there, check out the Kickstarter. Let's get a link in the comments here. Do that right now. And looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend. Come out and see us. We will be talking Kickstarters at the show, talking about existing books, things like that. Come buy stuff. I mean, that's definitely why we're there, so we can make some money. And we got a lot of cool stuff that we can offer. And this may be some of the last time you see some of the prints that we have. If you're something you like of ours and we have it there, buy it now. May not be here next year. and there's a good chance of that. So so check it out. And of course, we'll have exclusive covers that were available through the first Kickstarters, the first 5, because this is our 6th one that is already funded. So
that's right.
very cool. Scott, any last parting words before we take off here?
Until next week.
All right, I'm gonna run the Poe video for you guys, and then I'll run our outro video, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.